so easy to get caught up in the mundane, right? And I do this all the time, where it's just every day feels the same, and then you kind of like, yeah, you kind of take it for granted in like the sense that no, like life is pretty weird, you know, if you really think about it. And it was almost like a reminder to myself to stop and really accept the fact that no, this is strange, you know, like being alive is strange, and to try and remind myself to be grateful of these moments, you know, that are yeah, unique.
The festival, dude. What a lineup. That looks sick.
Yeah, that was full on. So like if I'm a bit tired, forgive me, because I'm just been long days painting. I got back here yesterday. So it's been just long days of painting. Everyone's just like, I imagine everyone's pretty tired. But yeah, everyone's just been flat out painting.
They were
for like
big pieces as well.
Yeah, massive. Like most of the walls were huge, and like some of them were in like awkward spots too. So it slows down the painting process. So yeah, it was a long week.
How did you feel with everything from start to finish anyway?
I think it was run really well.
Yeah.
So Bo and Rebecca were the two sort of leads on the event team, and yeah, they crushed it. Like it was really good. Like it was run really well. They took care of us, made sure we had everything we need. So yeah, it was good. It was a good time.
Yeah, you connected all right with all the other artists there.
Yeah. I mean, like
got to check it out.
Yeah, it was a bit tough because everyone is just stuck on their walls. So like, I didn't get to actually see everyone's work until like I think Saturday afternoon when I wrapped up, and then I finally got a chance to like walk around, do the circuit, look at everyone's work. And I think it was similar for everyone else because everyone's just honed in trying to get their work done because it's not a lot of time for how big the wall is.
Do you guys do any like social stuff after hours?
Yeah, like I mean, the first night, I think it was Sunday night, was when we just sort of quick meet and greet at the I can't remember what, it was like a local pub there. So that was just a very quick meet and greet. So it was nothing too intense. And then sort of independently, like within the artists, because we're in like a group chat, we'd be like, oh, hey, I'm going to go to the pub, have a couple of beers, and then people would just come. So I think it was like Wednesday night was a big group of us, so we had a couple of hours. But then at the same time, you don't want to, stay out too late because you've got an early start and a full day of painting. So yeah.
Man, when you're planning, like you're given your wall, you're given the dimensions, and you're planning ahead, and you're saying that, like, you scope out exactly how you're going to do this. Are you planning to do something that's going to eat up all the days? Yeah,
and I think that's the tough part is, first of all, deciding that, and then making sure you can really, because you have till Sunday, and it's like after that, like otherwise you'd have to come back on your own sort of time and money, to finish it off. So like, so I had a contingency of like, I need to be done by Saturday as my last day instead of Sunday.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of glad I did, because Saturday night was like their launch night. And so like, it was a big night, a lot of drinks and like celebrations and stuff. So I was really glad I wrapped up Saturday, and because it would have been rough to paint Sunday hungover.
You spend the week painting it, and then you spend Sunday ruining it.
Yeah, exactly. So like most of the artists were still painting Sunday, and like, man, that would have been rough because it was a big night Saturday, and then Sunday was really hot too. So so I was glad. I was done Saturday.
Dude, that came out of nowhere. Yesterday I was out, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, like,
and I was thinking about you as well. I'm like, shit, man. Some of these guys are
because like that week was like, I mean, we started Monday and it was raining, so I was just like painting in the rain all Monday, and then it was okay from there. It was just really cloudy, and then I think it picked up like Friday. It was like Friday, Saturday, Sunday was starting to warm up a lot more. So
welcome to Melbourne, man.
Yeah, so crazy the weather. Like very inconsistent, but no, it's good.
Overall, you felt good about it.
Yeah. I mean, my plans sort of for my original painting changed. So the scissor lift that they got me, I was meant to paint the right to the top of the wall, but the scissor didn't actually reach the top. So I essentially flipped my design 90 degrees and had to move a few elements around, freestyle a little bit, but it was good because everyone was like pretty comfortable with me and my style of work, that they trusted me. They were like, do your thing.
Your style allows for that though, because it's kind of modular.
Yeah,
it is.
You
know what I mean? You can drop in elements in and out.
Yeah, and as long as it sort of sits right,
that.
So I was pretty fortunate to still have the original design, but just a little bit altered. So I'm happy with the end piece too, so it was good. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, man. Like it looked like we were chatting about the lineup.
Yeah.
And it looked like a stellar.
It was killer. Cast. Yeah, it was. And everyone there was really cool. Like, because obviously we got to meet everyone, and everyone's so cool. Like everyone's really nice, chill. Like,
and it was like not even just high level artists, but the ones that I know of and the artists that I know,
Yeah.
there's it's just fucking professional.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
they're on top of not just the artwork, but everything else going in
Yeah.
and around.
Yeah,
and adjacent to the
that's
art.
the sort of the vibe was like, yeah, very professional. Like everyone knew what they were doing. Everyone knew the time slot they had. Everyone was just getting up and painting like all day, you know, like at least 12 hours a day. So it was just like, yeah, it was cool to be in that environment, you know, where everyone's
feed
just
off
on
that.
that. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And just being in that environment, yeah.
And that's the sort of standard, I guess, that like a lot of these festivals, these art festivals, they like it's not really just necessarily about the work and the aesthetic, but it's about just the presentation overall
Yeah, yeah.
of you as an artist, your brand and your image,
Yeah.
and also like just the relationships that you were formed with
Yeah.
people around the way.
Yeah, and it was my first time doing the Frankston Street Art Festival too. So I'm really grateful that they trusted me, you know, because like, it is a big sort of risk in a way, because it's like, I don't know, can this guy really pull it off? You know, like, and so yeah, it was good. I'm glad they trusted me.
Yeah, I mean, your work, it's, I think like when you look at the scope of the different, all art festivals, how they will have almost like, they want to have a spread, an array.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, you know, there's always going to be a couple that do more like flora and fauna.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
They'll have like, you know, tick that box.
Yeah.
It's animals tick, landscapes tick, that kind of thing.
The styles, yeah.
They're the different styles, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, hyperrealism tick.
Yeah, yeah.
And they'll just try to have, I guess, like a rotation of different artists that tick
Yeah.
that box. But then you have yours, which is just really like vibrant, animated.
Yeah, very, very like illustrative, like
Very
bold lines.
illustrative,
Yeah,
just,
I think
like,
it was very
clean
different, very different
lines.
to a lot of the styles there. So which is good, I guess. It's like he's trying to cover that broad range of styles. You know, I had a lot of people from the public even bring it up as well. They were like, "Oh, this is different." Yeah. So
It's different, but at the same time, man, like there's always something. It feels a bit nostalgic. Like you can look at it and it can connect it to something that you're already kind of familiar with.
yeah, and I think it's also like really easy for like I found that like a lot of the younger generation, even like kids, really liked it too. And I think it's because it's so simple. You know, it's like they can just relate to it a lot easier. Maybe I'm not sure, but yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
It's actually because I was thinking about this. Like my son, he's 9, and he watches a lot of animations. I don't know if you keep up with cartoons these days.
I try to. Depend like what is he sort of?
There's or what is there? There's Gumball.
Yep.
You know Gumball?
Yeah.
And I guess like adjacent to that. Right?
Yeah. That era like of cartoons.
Where it's hard to explain, man. It's okay. So I guess like it all kicked off from Adventure Time type kind of cloth, right? They're all cut from that, where they're just all a little bit zany.
Yeah, a little bit trippy,
right? Yeah, trippy's like it's all like acid trip.
Yeah.
Right? Like and then it's like that they came up with these ideas. After they were tripping balls, and like we're gonna actually make a thing out of this. And it's just really random, and I love that, right? Because there's just so much randomness to all that, but then there's like this cohesion to it. How like the characters is it? I think the less it makes sense, the more it makes sense to that generation.
Yeah, and it's also cool because like a lot of those cartoons also appeal to adults. Like Adventure Time, for example, was like directed at younger people, like kids and stuff. But I don't know, like when I watched it, I used to watch it with my daughter, and I was like, "This is sick."
Oh, dude,
like,
I love it.
Yeah, I'm like, I love this show, you know. So it's cool that it can like reach different audiences like that. Yeah,
it does have a feeling, a sense of unease for me, to be honest, man. Like a fever dream kind of thing. You know, when you're just tripping out, when you're sick. It feels a bit like that. It feels a little bit unsettling.
Yeah, I think so. And it's probably a lot of the themes they address as well is a bit like that too. You're just like, oh, like it's serious, but they're doing it in a more funny way. But like as an adult, you catch on to that, and maybe that's why you feel like, oh, this is a serious topic.
Yeah, and I guess like that's where your work sort of lies, is in that space.
Yeah, I mean, like so Adventure Time was a huge influence, like, you know, the old 90s, like Mario style art, like, so like Simpsons, you know, a lot of the cartoons I grew up watching, and also like, you know, like the real cutesy sort of simple Japanese Korean art as well. So like they were big influences, and that's why I try to do like that kind of colorful, simple, really clean, bold lines as an art style, but then also having that almost like unsettling aspect of it, you know, where you're like, oh, this is cute and fun and colorful, and then you kind of look a little bit longer and you're like, oh, what is this actually what is this? You know, what is this painting?
Yeah. I like the pieces that you do, these big murals that you've done where like you're at the centerpiece.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Of them.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like there's you've done a few of them.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you're sitting there and it's just this, all these ideas just spilling.
Yeah. I like that, like making it a bit more interactive, like as a mural. Yeah. And it's probably like a weird ADD thing, you know? It's just like a lot of.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking because I think one of them you had like you titled it ADHD.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like because I look at yours and I don't know where to start. Right, like it looks like one whole. It looks like one piece.
Yeah.
But then once you start breaking it down, there's hundreds of elements in there, and then as soon as like it occurs to me that there's so much going on there, it brings on this for me anyway, anxiety because I like this. My art is just like
very calming.
I'm trying to, and I wonder whether or not like I mean it's obviously reflective of how people think, right? Like their expression and the art is just like I guess that coming out.
Yeah,
and I'm just wondering like because yours just feels so dynamic and loud.
Yeah,
do you reckon that's what's going on?
I think so to some degree. I mean, like, I think a lot of it's like, so I used to do, you know how I have a lot of like elements in my artworks. Like I used to do drawings and doodles like that as a kid, you know, and it's I think it's got to do something with ADD. I don't know, like I can't just do the one character or one design, or like I have to just do a bunch of stuff because maybe I just get bored. I'm not sure. Like, you know, people who paint like a lot of realism, you know, like Paul, my friend Paul, he you know, you're painting the one subject, you know, and it's like just spending hours doing that. Just like, I don't know, I just can't do that. Like I have to like move around and just incorporate a lot of different stuff to keep myself engaged.
You just like something quick?
Yeah. Maybe it's just like, oh, hey, that's done. Now I add this thing, you know, and then this thing, and then it's just like trying to, I don't know.
Do you just do it on the fly?
A lot of the times, it's a lot of it's freestyled. When it's bigger projects, I like to invest more time into sketching and the composition and stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of the times, if I'm just, you know, going for a paint with a friend or, just, a lot of it's just freestyle and just,
Yeah, so it was just like a mental regurgitation.
Yeah, pretty much. Just like whatever I'm thinking about, or, if I want to experiment a little bit with different characters, I'll just start,
I kind of feel as though that like, it's ADHD if you're able to just do
it. Maybe,
just riff like that.
yeah, but it's fun. Like, I enjoy it.
Yeah, because when I look at like different artwork, I try to draw obviously like a lot of inspiration from it, and I love seeing how different people think, especially the ones which are so far removed from how I try to do things, right? Like, there's especially those that like those one line pieces you do. Dude, I get anxiety watching those, man. Like actually, like, and I don't mean this in any negative way, right? Like all your work, I love seeing it.
Yeah.
And it does bring on this level of anxiety because it's just so far removed from how I operate.
Yeah.
Like yours just feels so off the cuff. And it's just like, fuck it, let's just see. And I'm like, dude, how do people think like that? How do people operate like that? But at the same time, it's just so effective.
Yeah. I mean, with like even that like one-liner stuff, obviously like it's been around, that kind of style. I didn't pioneer that. But like for like as long as I can remember, you know, you're just doodling. I used to just doodle one-liners just on paper or whatever. And then it was just like a time where I was like, oh, I'm just bored and like I've got nothing else to do. So that's when I just started doing them, like spray painting them and actually uploading the content. And I was just like, oh, wow, people actually really engage with this. So, like, I guess it's, I don't know, because it's that sort of anxiety maybe, you know, that's why they watch it and they're like, oh, like, you know, how's this going to play out? So it's,
it's that, man, because you look at that and it's just so clean. And it's so precise, just the way it flows.
Yeah.
And then I'm just watching the whole thing, and then when you pan back and you see it all come together, like far out, man.
It's a lot of fun. Again, it's like I found it fun, you know, and that's sort of why, I don't know, like that's why I started doing it. And when I uploaded it, and it obviously blew up a lot, and I was just like, oh wow, like people they can engage with this, and this is like something I just do for fun, you know. So it's it's cool.
How do you feel about that? Because you do some pieces, right? Like I've had conversations with other artists about how like we will do, you know, you'll spend so much time on a particular piece.
Yeah.
Like let's just say you go do a mural and you're out there for a week, doing it, and then you'll chop it up into one reel, and then people are like, oh yeah, that's nice, and then that's cool, right? And then like, and then you go put together a one-liner, takes you 10 seconds, and then blows up.
I mean, when that happened, I was a part of me was devastated because I was like, man, you know, I have videos out there that I've like, you know, paid videographers, you know, and they've chopped it up and it's mint, you know, it's aesthetic video.
Yeah.
It's done really well, produced really well. And it's like, yeah, it got some engagement, you know, and whatever else. And then like, I'm just, yeah, part of me was definitely like, oh man, wow. Like this, I spent so much time and money and effort into this video. And then I just do this one liner. I'm holding my phone in my left hand, you know, and it took, like 10 seconds. And I'm like, yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Oh, 150,000 people.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. Yeah, yeah.
I had the most recent episode that's gone up. This guy, Casey Tremlett, he is a fashion designer and he consults with brands. And he had this thing and it kind of like, it really, it struck me real hard because his whole thing was that like, your audience and your customers, they don't owe you anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you could take them, you could go do a line of clothes and it could take you months just to get like the perfect cut, the perfect materials, perfect factory, all that. And, you know, you see the numbers as soon as it drops, you realize that people aren't actually buying it. It's like you don't get that your effort doesn't necessarily translate.
Yeah. No, that's
into
100% correct. Yeah. That's why I think it's important to like pursue interests that are meaningful to you, because then regardless of how the public reacts, you know, you've done the work that you believe is meaningful, you know, and that you find interesting. Because then at the end of the day, it's like, whether it works or it doesn't, it's like, oh, I did this because I wanted to do it, you know, and now it's out there and it's not up to you to, control the feedback in a sense, you know? So yeah, it's, I think that's the best approach.
That's exactly it, man. Like, I guess that you've got to just try to find the reward in the actual doing.
Exactly.
Thing.
Yeah.
And social media is just such a weird one as well, because you're kind of like, you're at the mercy of it, and you have no idea what you're actually doing.
And it's changing all the time.
It's changing all the time. Yeah. And then you're like, I'm just doing my thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes things work, sometimes they don't. And then like, you know, we're told to like keep an eye on how it's all flowing. But then you're just like, how much effort and how much attention you meant to give to that versus the actual doing of the work.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't really pay too much attention to the social media stuff, or like more in the sense of like, I know a lot of people, they find like the correct times to post and content, things like that. And I'm sure that helps, but I guess for me, I've always just like, I've kind of just uploaded whatever and just, you know, I'm like, this is what I like to do. And just sort of just upload as I go. And yes, but I don't know, it's worked out so far, I guess. But
I think we have different sort of strategies and approaches to it. And one of the things I've spoke on is that because, you know, we're part of I guess an older generation, right? Yeah. Like we were introduced to it a bit later in our lives, where the next generation, a lot of kids have been born into it.
Yeah, which would be a very different world.
So for them, living on social media is as much of a part as like living outside of it.
Yeah, that's the hard part, is like realizing it's not real. You know, it's not like social media isn't real life. Like it's not.
For some,
like,
it is, man.
Yeah. No, I guess.
Like it's only. I only say we say like, that, and we know it because like it was introduced to us in life. And some kids are born into it.
But just like I don't know, like so much of it's just like your highlight, right? Like it's just you control what you post. It's not like you're not exposed as you would be in real life, where people get to actually know you and know your struggles and things like that. So it's like, in that sense, it's. I think it'd be hard for the younger generation, you know, because it's like being born into that, and that is your world, you know, that's real life to you. And that's got to play on you negatively, you know, like, so, yeah.
I was listening to an interview with Louis Theroux. He did do you know Louis Theroux?
Yeah, the Manosphere one. Yeah. I haven't seen it yet, but I've been meaning to watch it.
I haven't seen it either, but then he was talking about one of the people that he was speaking to on that. And it's, I guess he's one of these influencer types. And he said that like this guy's been, I guess, like on YouTube since he was really young.
Yeah.
So he's been uploading videos since then. So his whole perspective on life has been largely skewed by the feedback that he's gotten online.
Yeah, and that's got to play on you. Like,
it does have to play on you, because then you don't really know where the guardrails are. You don't know how to navigate through any particular space, because you're listening to the trolls.
You don't even know if they're real people. You know, like it's I don't know. That can't be good for you. You know, like
no. So I guess like the point is that there are some people that are just they don't know how to differentiate, but to them there is no differentiator.
Yeah,
You know,
that'd be scary.
And it's just a matter of like just creating for that. So like they create for that space rather than in the real life.
Yeah, and I guess it gets tougher too if that's like your living. Then you have to, you know what I mean? You have to sort of like play to a certain demographic to, if that's your income, you know? Like, so, yeah, I don't know, that'd be pretty tough, I guess, like having to be forced into this lane, you know?
But you won't know when, you don't know any other way.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, no, it's not doesn't sound like a fun existence.
Nah. So mathematics, dude, I thought that was really interesting. This is like gone off on what I think is a massive tangent. But this is something that's just been on my mind because you were telling me that when we spoke the last time that you got a mathematics background. And I'm trying to see how there was some sort of like the path from going from maths to illustration to being a street artist. And I feel as though there's like a hard line there.
Yeah. I mean, like growing up, so like I've always liked problem solving, and I guess it's more like because I hated math in high school, right? Like, and really didn't do well in high school at all. Like I barely graduated. Didn't do maths in year 11 and 12. So back, I don't know, rules might be different now, but back then you could drop maths, and yeah, but I've always had an interest in like problem solving, and I found physics pretty interesting and things like that. So I actually initially enrolled to do my major in physics, and then because physics is all mathematics, which I learned real quickly. I went to Macquarie University, and like to be honest, I don't even know how they let me in. Like, I just applied, and they're like, because I didn't study maths in high school, they're like, there's this, I can't remember what it's called, it's like Math 130 or something. They're like, if you can do this course, this unit, then we'll let you do it, you know? And I was like, yeah, sweet. And then like I had zero maths, you know, like probably like year 7 level mathematics. And I did it, and I just grinded, you know, just really, it's all I did, just studied. And then I did quite well in that class. And then, and then I think I got up to like second year, and then that's when I was like, I sucked at physics. Like physics requires, man, like it requires, obviously mathematics, there's a layer of mathematics you have to do, but you're also dealing with the real world. So like there's an extra layer of problem solving where you have to be like, does this make sense? You know, like to apply this formula, or like the way you approach this problem mathematically, like there's an extra layer of problem solving. Whereas mathematics was just a puzzle, right? It was like, it's this own abstract world where the physical world doesn't really matter.
Does it not? I would have thought that that's the whole point.
No, so like, I mean, especially when you start diving into what they call like pure mathematics, it's its own realities, you know. It's just, it has nothing to do with the real world, and like mathematicians typically don't care either. Like I heard a joke. It's like they pride themselves in being useless, you know. So it's like they don't care about the real world, you know.
I would have thought that like mathematics is just discovery.
It is in its own world of mathematics, so it doesn't necessarily have to even. Most of it doesn't actually map onto the real world physically. So like, yeah, that's why I enjoyed it, because I didn't have to think about, does this make sense in the real world, you know? Like, because it's just, and everyone's different, right? Like people prefer physics over mathematics and things like that. So like for me, around second, that's when I switched to my major just to do maths, because I was like, oh, I enjoy just the problem solving aspect of it a lot more than having to try and map it to reality, you know. So and then
you're either right or wrong in maths, right?
which I liked, because I did a few elective units as well, and a lot of it was like essay writing, right? And it's like, that's very subjective, where it depends who marks it. It depends on your grade. Your grade depends on how they view your writing style. So I really didn't like that. So but with mathematics, it's like, you're right or you're wrong, you know. So it's more clear cut.
And then like when you're thinking about the application from that to the way that you create art, they seem so far removed, man. Like you've got this way of just like, you know, we're just saying that with your art, you can just do whatever the fuck you want. You just have this, like, I've got this space, I'm going to fill it with as much or as little as I want. And then whatever I fill it with, it can be whatever just comes to mind, and I'm not even going to give it a second guess.
Yeah, it's definitely a different style of creativity and expression. I would still say that mathematics still requires a lot of creativity, especially once you start looking at proofs and like the history of like the people who develop these theories or like proofs in mathematics. And it's very creative because you're like, yeah, it's just it's new. Like people have just created new ways to solve problems and like yeah. So like for there's an example would be like imaginary numbers, right? So like you're told, I think it's up in high school, you're told you can't square root negative numbers, right? Because you can't multiply two numbers to get a negative number. But then, however long ago, this was a long time ago, someone came along and invented or discovered, you know, it depends how you look at it, imaginary numbers where it's a method to actually do that and deal with that problem. And so it's like, it's very, I find it's very creative. It's definitely a different style of creativity, you know, but even with like my painting, I think there's still layers to, you know, when you're dealing with like composition, right? Like, so there's still ratios and things that are more aesthetic or make more sense with focal points and things like that. So I have started playing around with, so for example, like the golden ratio, like trying to incorporate things like that into my paintings where I'm working with the composition of those ratios. So I think there is a bit of overlap, but yeah, I mean, they're definitely different expressions of creativity.
Dude, like the overlap would be that they're are so far, like I'm not seeing this as a linear thing, right? It's more of circular. So they're so far removed from one another. They come back together.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, and for me, I guess like nothing stands out as obvious where they meet other than like when you're discussing ratios and it's very specific. I guess more so in realism too, where you have like a lot that's really important with ratios. But yeah, I mean, like for me, I've been, other than trying to incorporate and experiment with ratios, yeah, I've been trying to come up with ways to express some of those concepts visually, which has been difficult, but like, yeah, just trying to include like scientific or even mathematic elements into the style of work I do. So like a lot of people will see, like the painting I just recently did at Frankston was very science based. It was like wormholes and stuff, and you know, I tried to put in like a little pi symbols and stuff like that. And yeah, so I'm now trying to explore more ways to yeah, kind of merge them together in a way that works. But yeah,
man, maybe difficult. It could just be like conceptually, because I was just thinking when you're talking about the golden ratio, that's something that's more of a discovery, right?
Yeah,
something that was all. Yeah, discovery.
It's still debated. It's still yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, is it invented or is it discovered? And I think it's an ongoing debate. But yeah, I think it depends how you view it. Yeah.
Like a chicken or the egg kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's discovery. I mean, like it definitely feels that way. But yeah, there's definitely another camp who more lean towards it's invented, which I can understand too. Like yeah.
I want to put it down as discovery, man, because I feel as though, and this is me with no background in any camp, really. Like,
right,
this is just me just talking nonsense. But it's like there's a reason why we are drawn to particular things that we can't quite articulate.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like there's a reason why something looks appealing and something that looks a bit discerning.
Yeah.
You know, if something as simple as like symmetry in a face.
Yeah.
There's an innate primitive reason why we are drawn to more symmetrical faces than asymmetrical faces. They don't even necessarily need to be appealing features.
Yeah.
But if they're not appealing features but symmetrical, like that's cool. We're okay with that. And I think that's where the golden ratio kind of lies. It's like that there's something about that was like 1.4 whatever. That ratio where we look at things that are in that context of proportion and there is a relationship there. But then at the same time, like you could also then exaggerate that. You could break away from that.
Yeah. And it's like, I guess the other camp would say more like we invent methods and structures to make sense of the world around us. Like we recognize patterns and so we develop a technique, which is mathematics, to understand it better. So I guess that, I don't know. It's
we invent them. Oh, see,
and then we map them to reality. You know, so it's like so it's a bit of a But I personally think it's discovery, just because it's too I don't know, it's too almost like too profound, you know, it's too neat. Like
I think so. I think so. I think it's I don't know. I kind of like to pay tribute, or at least just think that there is something that's greater happening.
yeah, and it's
Whatever way,
mysterious,
shape, or
like,
form. There's
yeah,
something. There's like some sort of undercurrent of something mysterious happening that
yeah,
we're not quite aware of. We're just kind of participating in it.
yeah, and like yeah, it's definitely weird, you know, like it's definitely weird. That's why I'm always like, I kind of fluctuate between the two of like, or maybe it's both, you know, maybe it's both. Yeah, like, yeah, it's
Because you
definitely,
always see relationships from one thing that is seemingly completely removed from another thing.
yeah.
And to me, I'm like, that can't be.
Yeah, exactly. Like even like fractals, right? Like fractals
Yeah.
are in nature and in numbers, and it's yeah, it's very bizarre.
I mean,
Like,
the fractals, they adhere to the golden ratio, right?
yeah. Which is yeah, it's just strange, you know, like from like tiny things to massive things. Like yeah, it's definitely strange.
Or even something like a DNA sequence and the way that we then connect that and able to then translate that into like binary code.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then we can see that relationship in programming of whatever computer
Yeah.
system.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We can apply that same
Yeah.
sort of that pattern
Yeah.
and apply it over here to
Yeah.
something else that's seemingly far removed.
Yeah, and absolutely, and it's like even so a lot of so for example, like I don't know how long ago it was a while ago, but the prime numbers
Yeah.
used to have no application. So that was once upon a time was a field of pure mathematics, and now they use it. Well, they've been using it for a while now for like a bunch of stuff. So it's like there's mathematics out there that's just awaiting for application, you know, and it's strange because you think like, is this real, you know? But then a lot of people will be like, oh no, it's just we're never going to find an application for this. But then you know you wait long enough and you do, you know. So
That's
it's pretty
wild,
nuts, yeah.
man. That's wild. So it's like having ingredients but not knowing.
Exactly, yeah, and you're just waiting, and just something will come up, you know, and they'll be like, oh, we can actually apply this here, and yeah, it's pretty wild. Like it's getting pretty crazy.
Yeah, like just on a bit of a tangent, I was having this conversation with my son yesterday about like trying to explain to him what the simulation theory
Yeah,
is about.
yeah.
And we're like trying to not get him too deep in that. He's
Yeah,
9, right? But I'm like, dude, think about this.
Yeah. I
You know?
mean, I'm a yeah. I kind of lean towards it. Like
That we are.
yeah. Especially now, like seeing things. Like I was talking to my mate before about it. Like I read an article about how I think they sliced the brain of a fruit fly and they uploaded it into a computer, like an AI system, and it essentially just started behaving like a fruit fly. They didn't have to.
I saw that.
Yeah, they didn't have to like teach it anything, you know. And it's like, oh, we're kind of getting there.
Did you see the one? It was a cluster of brain cells that were playing Doom.
No. Wow.
This was just the other
yeah,
day, man.
Jesus. Like it's yeah. I mean, like you couple that with like how everything behaves mathematically. Like in theory, you could
Systems.
Yeah, like you could really, if you had all the information, create like mathematical equations for everything, right? So it's like, yeah, I don't know. You think it's all sort of structured that way, and it's like, I don't know, it could be a simulation, you know? Like it's pretty convincing, you know? And yeah,
And that's what I was saying about how you have like this particular sequence of coding sequence that you've taken from flowers.
Yeah.
And then you're applying it to the creation of something like a teapot, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
how I'm just picking at two completely
Yeah,
random
yeah.
things. But you can take this, copy, paste over here.
Yeah.
And it's like, did they just do that with code?
Yeah,
You
no,
with a lot of things?
That's why it's so strange. Like it makes you real like almost suspicious. You know, you're like, why is this?
For me,
all these connections.
the one was like how from here, from Earth, we have the sun and we have the moon, but from where we sit, they are relatively identical
That's
in
in
size.
size? Yeah, that's
and
weird.
I'm like, why are we not talking about this
Yeah,
more?
yeah,
How
it's
is that
bizarre.
just something that we just accepted?
Yeah, we're just like,
it's
okay,
like,
cool.
oh yeah, that's cool. Like, no,
Of course, they're the same size.
it's like, no, hang on a second, man.
yeah. No,
Like,
that's
do
a
you
weird
know
one.
The chances of that
Yeah,
happening.
Yeah, that's a weird one. Like,
That's so, man, and
Yeah.
that to me is like that is one of the that's got to be the biggest coincidence, full stop. And we don't
Yeah.
even bat an eyelid to that.
yeah, and it's difficult. Like, and I struggle with it where it's like so much. And I guess as human beings, we're really good at pattern recognition, and yeah, so I struggle with that too. Where it's like, oh wow, there's a lot of coincidences, you know, that don't make sense. But then on the other side, I kind of feel like like, have you heard of the anthropic principle? I think it's called. It's like essentially we make sense of things because we're already here. So like, I think the analogy someone gave was like, if there's like a pothole in the road, and it rains and it fills that pothole up, and then if you are that puddle in that pothole, you would feel like, oh, this pothole's perfect. It's a perfect size, and it's only the fact that you're already there that you feel that way. So it's, yeah, I don't know. I ping pong between the two. It's yeah, it's strange regardless. Like it's very odd.
I don't mind that concept, but at the same time, you've also got to respect how perfect everything is.
Exactly. That's why it's like, yeah, that's why I fluctuate between the two, because I'm like, this is, yeah, I don't know. I always flip moods, you know. It's like depends on the day. But yeah.
Do you know Benjamin Nock?
Benjamin Nock. Yeah.
So he is a visual, or actually, I don't know. That's too simple of calling him a visual artist.
Yeah.
He does a whole bunch of different things.
Yeah.
Based off his exploration of volcanoes.
Yeah.
Right? So that is primarily what he does.
Yeah.
And then he creates a lot of things based on the data that he collects from that, whether it be visual art, sculptural pieces, a whole vast array of things. And we were talking about how insanely ridiculous everything really is. If you really, you can even just like pick any particular thing, and once you start exploring it and just finding wonderment, it's incredible.
Yeah, like anything. Like I think anything that you dive deep into, it becomes very interesting. You know, like it's,
and it feels, you know, and to use that pothole analogy, I think it'd just be not doing things enough justice by just being like, oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, of course, yeah, and I don't think you can even help it. Like, yeah, because I feel like the weirdest part of it all is the fact that we can even comprehend things at all. You know, like it's bizarre. Like we can even, you know, we've mapped like space and stuff like that's insane. Like, and then the fact that we know about atoms, and it's just like the fact that we can even know these things is the strangest part. You know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So I definitely don't. Take it for granted. You know, it's just some days I just feel like, oh well, you know, it's just the way it is, you know.
This is the way. But then there's like limitations in the coding where it's like, oh, cool, we'll whoever wrote the code is like, we'll let you know about atoms.
Exactly.
But that's the limit, right? Like, we'll let you know about the vastness of space.
Yeah.
But then that's the limit. It's like, how big is it? It's like,
it just keeps going.
Well, we're just gonna let them know. It just keeps going.
Yeah.
Like,
it feels endless, and it feels like every discovery you make, there's more questions, right? Like it's just
more questions.
Yeah. It's definitely feels endless.
Yeah, and you know, excuse the pun, it's absurd.
Well, that's part of where I sort of got that.
I was going to ask you, man, because like your work does feel a little bit absurd.
Yeah, well, like my friend,
and I don't think it's just limited just to the work itself.
Yeah, well, like my friend Taylor, he was the first one to sort of like start calling the style a bit absurd and absurdism and stuff like that. And I also studied a lot of existential philosophy while I was in uni, like electives. And
that explains that last
and then like you explore sort of absurdism through there's a philosopher, Albert Camus, and he really sort of spearheaded that movement, and that played a big part into deciding, I'm going to go by Sam Absurd, because to me the absurdism, it really, I don't know, it made me really shift my perspective, I guess, on life, and like just accepting the fact that it is absurd. Like, life is absurd. This is weird, you know? Like, it is weird that we're here. Like, you know, like...
And it's like, I don't think there's a particular threshold, or it could be a threshold where we think that anything beyond that is absurd, and anything below is just pretty beige. But then if you really want to, like, have a look at it, like, let's pick a thing out and be like, dive into that, break it down. It's like, everything's pretty nuts.
No, absolutely. And it's so easy to get caught up in the mundane, right? And I do this all the time, where it's just every day feels the same, and then you kind of like, you kind of take it for granted, in like the sense that, no, like life is pretty weird, you know, if you really think about it. And it was almost like a reminder to myself to stop and really accept the fact that, no, this is strange, you know, like being alive is strange, like being able to like comprehend things, and even like on an emotional level, like family and friends, it's like, this is all strange, you know, this is all not normal, you know, and to try and remind myself to be grateful of these moments, you know, that are unique, you know. Yeah.
I have conversations with AI. They're really just trying to understand I guess that juxtaposing the human condition with AI and trying to understand how things are going to be moving forward and progressing.
Yeah.
So I asked AI a bit about like, what's you as an observer, how do you see us operating? What do you think the fallacies are with all this? And then it flip-flops quite a bit. It moves in different areas.
Yeah.
But one of the things it talks about is like how we, to paraphrase, take things for granted.
Yeah.
But then another thing it would talk about is how none of it matters.
Yeah.
Either.
Yeah.
Right. So there's that I guess that contradiction that we both hold.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's essentially the crux of the philosophy of like existentialism and absurdism is like we are so driven by purpose and meaning in a seemingly meaningless universe, and it's like, what do you do now with that information? You know, like
do you think that is just part of that human condition where we try to? Oh, this then goes back to the whole concept of the mathematics that we try to apply meaning to things just to keep it going.
Yeah, like I think, yeah, absolutely, and I think like it's, you know, if you go back to like hunter-gatherer days, you know, like our whole purpose in a sense was to survive, right? It was just to get to the next day. And it's like we've done that too well now, you know, and it's like, oh, what now? You know, like what do we do now? And it's like this I think it's the human condition of like just craving that meaning and then just never being satisfied with it.
And then creating problems.
Resolve. Exactly, yeah. And then it's yeah, and I guess everyone has, it's like a spectrum. Everyone has these feelings to different degrees. Like I find myself, I'm a pretty purpose-driven person, and yeah, it's hard for me to deal with a lot of the times. You know, where I'm like, yeah, it doesn't matter. You know, like nothing really matters. But then it kind of does because I'm here. You know, so like on a moment to moment, exactly. So like on a moment to moment basis, it matters, but then it ultimately doesn't. It's trying to like balance those two ideologies and use that information to make the most of your time here, you know, which is pretty brief for all of us. So it's yeah, like I recommend Camus for a lot of people, like especially if they're struggling with those thoughts. Like it's he has a very interesting take on it, and it's he uses the book that really helped me it's called The Myth of Sisyphus, and I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but it's it's a Greek mythology. It's based off the Greek mythology of Sisyphus, who was condemned to roll a boulder up a mountain only to watch it roll back down.
Yes.
He has to do that for eternity, and he uses that as I think is a great analogy for our lives. You know, where it feels that way, where it's meaningless, and it's just yeah. And I'm obviously really simplifying his ideas, but like yeah, it's sort of he pushes like to pursue creative endeavors as an antidote almost, you know, to this. Yeah, like this absurd existence, you know, like so it's highly recommend that book for people if they yeah.
I think that's something that we should all really be focusing on, man. I think that the creative endeavors thing is something that's really underestimated and undervalued.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I don't mean holistically, but definitely here in Australia, I think that there's this front that we as a culture and community respect creative endeavors, but there's not enough creative integrity in that. And what I mean by that is that like culturally we want to display like the festival that you were just at. We want to showcase and put right on the facade that we care about art. But then if you peel back the layers, to have a festival run like that, there is just so much bureaucracy that really doesn't need to exist other than just for the sake of creating problems and hurdles and more jobs, essentially, right? Like if we really cared about it, there would be more funding, more opportunities. And I think it was an island where they were subsidizing people that were there was, what is it, the welfare system. That they've included creative pursuits. And creating an allowance for people that are I want to say island. I believe that's where it is. And it just like if you're gonna go to that level, then you're as a community, even as like the government are the ones that are distributing the funds for things that are upholding what it is that they are saying that we value.
Yeah.
And that's at the very grassroots of it. Like, if you care about artistic endeavors, then put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like the, I know it's like a way off and there's different views on it, but like, you know, the thing of like universal basic income, right? Like if that was a real thing and it went the way people were hoping it would go, I mean, I can only imagine the sort of creative like explosion that would happen, right? Because people would, if they didn't have to worry so much about their income, like what they would do with their free time, you know, like, and I imagine most people would just start making stuff because they just have this like, yeah, I think it's very like part of the human nature to make things and create things and do things that haven't been done before, you know. So it's yeah, like I think that'd be great, you know.
We're probably not far off being in a position where we need to consider that, because if you're thinking about then a number of jobs are going to go because of AI, and then what then?
Yeah, well, like hopefully it doesn't go into like a dystopian future, but like. Yeah, that'd be the ideal case. If that happens and people are taken care of financially, then it would be cool to see what comes out, because people would have all this free time. It was like COVID, right? When COVID, all the lockdowns and stuff, people just started doing other stuff because you couldn't do anything else, you know? So yeah, like a lot of people just started making things and like exploring more of their creative side, and yeah, it was cool. It was cool to see.
We're in 26 now. I've spoken with a bunch of artists that have gone on this whatever journey that they have, and they started their creative pursuit during COVID.
Yeah, wow.
And you think about 5 years down the track, 5 years, dude. How like it's felt like no time, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But it's been 5 years, and 5 years has been enough time for you to really lock in on what you're doing, and to have created something and have established yourself in that period of time. So even though it feels like such a short period of time, it was just a catalyst that a lot of people needed just to kickstart whatever it was, or just to flick a switch.
Yeah.
And then we fast forward to now.
Yeah.
And they're well established, they're well settled, well secured. And, you know, we can look back at that time as being, it sucked at the time. I mean, it sucked more for us than you guys in Sydney.
Yeah, it was rough here.
But man, like it unlocks so much for people here, and you can only look back and just be grateful. I mean, like there's been a lot of knock-on effects since then that haven't really worked out.
Yeah, and
economically,
but it's definitely warped everyone's sense of time, you know, for sure. Because it was like, I think there's still going to be, you know, for the years to come, I think we're going to figure out a lot of things that like it's affected, you know.
Man, like how old's your daughter?
She's 15 this year.
Okay, so she was well grown.
Yeah.
My son, my oldest, he's 9. So any of the kids that were just a little bit older than him, your daughter probably included, because you know when she's
school, like
school, right?
Like
so you're talking about like formative years,
which is crazy, like because that socializing aspect was sort of taken out, and like even for them, you know, like I don't think we're gonna really see the full effects until later, you know, and being like.
But how do you even measure it? Because there's no control group to measure it.
I know, but it's got to have an impact, you know, like it's got to, and it's me and my mate Dylan, actually we both quit our full-time jobs. I think it was like a couple months before COVID, like because we were like, we're going to do this warehouse, you know, we're going to work together, we're going to pursue this, because he does events and things like that. And I think it was I can't remember exactly when it was, like a couple of months. Yeah, perfect. And then like COVID hit, and we're like, oh shit, like what are we going to do now? But like I think regardless, I think we made the most of the time, because we set the warehouse up. Like I just spent all that time painting and creating. So we definitely made the most of it, but it was rough, you know, like, and it was scary because we're just like everything's closed, all the jobs cancelled. Yeah, so I mean, it worked out, like, you know, but at the time it was pretty intense. Yeah,
but man, sometimes you just like you need that seismic shift to be able to kick your ass in the gear and to flick that switch. And you know, to what you were saying about like this creative pursuits. Yeah, like. Just being put into a dire position like that when you have nothing else to do. If you got free time and, you know, a bit of government kickback.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just seeing what works. Like it was a lot of that time, those early years were just experimenting. Like we did just so much random stuff, you know, like different types of art, different types of events. And it was just like, I think those were the years that we really figured out the trajectory and direction we wanted to go. So, I definitely think.
So there's some sort of collaborative effort between the two of you then?
Yeah, absolutely. So it was to kick off. It was me and Dylan, and then so he does events, and then so there is a lot of overlap work. So like I'll paint things for the event or paint live at the event, and similar if I'm painting at like a festival or anything like that. You know, like he does a lot of work there as well. And then my mate Taylor joined as well, and so he's like he does paintings as well, but he does like sculptures more, like builds.
Cool.
And yeah, now we've moved into a bigger space. Yeah, we've got Paul and my other mate Matt as part of the team now as well. So it's slowly growing, and as it grows, I think it's changing too because we have different elements joining the team, and yeah, so like we're pretty excited for the new space once it's like properly set up and everything.
And it's basically just going to be like a studio.
Yeah, just creatives. Yeah,
creative studio.
Yeah, and yeah, so it's exciting to see it grow from where we started. You know, like
Was that the plan?
I don't think so. I don't know. We didn't really have a plan. Like we just kind of like, oh, you're doing this, I'm doing this. We can use this space, you know. And then Dylan was more of the like he sort of spearheaded the idea, and he's like, you know, I was the only one stupid enough to agree with him. You know? And then yeah, we did it, and then it evolved as we did it, and yeah, I mean, I'm glad we did because it's crucial for our sort of creative works to have that room. You know, like without it. I don't know where, like, I wouldn't have space to make the things I make. Because we have more space, I'll make bigger things. And it's sort of, yeah, this feedback loop of like being able to do more than I would have been able to.
Yeah.
Like having that space available, you know, to do those things. Yeah.
And it's just the energy that's in those four walls as well.
Yeah.
Right? Like
yeah.
you can separate yourself. And I was just talking to my son about, explaining to him how, and like I was telling you how I used to work from home, but now here, home needs to have a particular type of energy.
Absolutely, yeah.
And work needs to be as far removed as I can, but also trying to maintain an overlap because I think it's important, especially in the creative space, when you're working, that you are able to inject your work into your life and your life into your work. I think it's really important to have, it's like a Venn diagram, right?
Yeah,
With that crossover right there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you bring in different energies into the space.
Yeah, like, and I think a lot of it's mental too, right? Like
entirely.
Yeah, like realizing like, okay, when I go to the warehouse, it's like I'm working, you know, and when I'm home, I'm home to basically just sleep. But like, you know, yeah, home is separate, and you know, like you said before, like having the people around you is so important, you know, like, and when I talk to sort of younger artists, like I always mention that, like having the right people around you makes like all the difference, you know, because few people, I guess, can relate to a lot of the struggles you go through, like especially as an artist or a creative. Like I think you need those similar types of people around you that are also going through that, so you don't feel as alone, because like I think any kind of creative pursuit or being an artist is it can get pretty lonely, you know, because usually you're by yourself when you're working. Like, you know, you don't have a partner there, or maybe sometimes you do, but like usually you're by yourself doing your work. And it's, yeah, I think the community aspect around that's important, because otherwise I think you'll burn out pretty quick, you know?
Yeah, and it holds you accountable as well, man.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
like if you're with other creative people, then there's a standard that's been set.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and like, yeah, I'd say I'm probably the laziest one out of everyone, but like, yeah, like Dylan and Paul, like they're always pushing me and stuff, so which is good, because yeah, like the accountability aspect, because otherwise I'm just gonna find excuses to not work.
Yeah, because if you're around and you're talking about like, you know, the people that you surround yourself with and the four walls that you guys are working in, creativity is something that if you want to look at it from a macro lens, like that we all sit within, you know, you from Sydney, there's a creative culture there.
Yeah.
And then if you want to just zoom out even further in Australia, that we all contribute to that.
Yeah.
So it depends on how you want to look at it. There's a particular standard.
Yeah.
An expectation almost.
Yeah.
Right? Whether or not you sign up to it.
Yeah.
You know, that there's a level that we are all striving to be at.
Yeah.
And whether or not that's something that, you know, we have just imposed on ourselves.
Yeah.
But we're always in this, you know, when you create for yourself, there's still a degree that you have to be honest about. And it's like you're not just creating for yourself, you're creating to contribute to a larger whole.
Yeah, and then it's related to that is like I can't remember who said it, but it's like no one's an island, you know, like everyone's connected to everything else, and it's like it all matters, you know, because like what you do affects the people around you, like the work you put out, you know, and you have inspirations, you have motivations, you might be an inspiration to someone else. And yeah, like at a high level, it is all connected. And I think that's why it's important to realize that, you know, like that's not just, you're not just by yourself. You know, you are connected to a bigger network.
And all the influences that you've collected along the way,
yeah.
right? Like every experience that you've had, everything that you have interacted with or encountered has contributed to this whole bank of knowledge and wisdom that you are now injecting back into your work. So it's never really a selfish pursuit, as much as you may think it is, or as isolated as you think you are, that there's still so much of that interconnectedness.
Yeah, and it's good to, like I find it's good to... remind yourself of that, because like a lot of the times, you forget that, you know. No, it's important.
And it's just that whole contribution piece as well, you know. Like I wonder, you know, often things like, what's the point? You know, like we're going back to that existential, like, what's the point of this? Right? Like, what is this all about?
Yeah.
And then even if it's just as simple as like, you know what, if we're having this conversation, it's cool just to learn from you, and there'll be something that I'm going to take away. Selfishly, there'll be something that I'm going to take away from this conversation, and just have it consciously or subconsciously just mulling in my brain, and then it's going to come out in one way or another.
Yeah, and vice versa, you know, like it's, I think everyone you interact with is like that. Even like, even when I was painting, like just this week, just watching even the other artists paint, you know, it's like they paint very differently to I do, but like just trying to, you gain a lot of things. You're just like, oh, cool. Like I never thought of it doing this thing like that, or like everyone's process is a little bit different and things like that. So it's like, it definitely influences you. Like, and I guess it's more about if you're paying attention to that, you know. But
Do you take things outside of the creative sphere? Because it's something that I think is really important as well. Because if you're in a collective with other artists, and you guys are all like, it would be this. A creative hotbed, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, what else are you taking from outside of that world to inject back into it?
Yeah, well, I think a big play in that is like a lot of my friends have a wide array of interests, so that, and myself included. So like, I try to do a lot of things that are outside my everyday, you know, experiences, and I do have a pretty diverse set of interests, you know. So I do a lot of I train jiu-jitsu as well, so like I like to do that. I mean, it's got nothing to do with painting, but like
you love problem solving.
yeah, right. Like, so it's like I like to just do things out of the ordinary, you know, things that like I that don't even really have anything to do with painting or creativity in a sense, in that sort of standard sense. And I think it's important because like you said earlier, like all the things you do and absorb in your life, like they're gonna sort of come out in your work. So I like even like when I studied maths, like it was very out, you know, nothing to do with painting. So it was like I think it's important because it makes you more like hopefully more like a well-rounded person, where you're not just sort of, you know, doing the one thing and just in that world. You kind of get stuck in a bubble in a sense. Yeah,
but it's all transferable, man, and it'll be interesting whether or not you even realize how the mathematics and the philosophy comes through your work.
Yeah, and it's something I've been more recently trying to explore, where like earlier on, I just didn't really care. Like I obviously I studied these things because they're interesting, but I had no desire to translate any of that over to my art. I was just like, oh, whatever. But now it's more like, oh, I should, because these are the topics and themes that I find interesting. I should really invest time into exploring how I can represent them through my art. So that's something I've been exploring some different styles too. So hopefully
change what styles?
Yeah, I mean, still sort of like colorful and illustrative, but like working with layers a bit differently, and like exploring, like I was saying before, like the ratios and stuff. I want to start playing around with that a little bit more, and hopefully be able to express those ideas better.
I wonder if there's like some sort of like formula, a mathematics formula, if there's a bunch of them, and somehow they could be represented in a visual way and translated. Because actually this is one of the things I was talking with Benjamin Nock, because he's over in Finland at the moment. He's teaching at a university about how to take data sets. So he goes, explores volcanoes, and he collects a whole bunch of data, lots of numbers. And it's like, how can we now translate this into some kind of creative expression? So people can understand, whether it be in music, visual, sculptural, whatever it is. Like, so that way people can appreciate what it represents without just seeing cascading numbers.
Yeah. Well, that's I think, and I'm sure he will find it equally difficult. But like it's yeah, that's the aim, right? Is like trying to do that, trying to find the best way to express that information.
I guess it's what we're probably all doing. Like,
at
whatever
degree,
level, if you're creating something, it is going to be an expression of all this shit that's been
that
going on.
You're trying to get out there and relay that information, or even if it's a feeling, right? Like trying to relay that. Like, because I know you do a lot of like a bit more abstract art. Like it's similar, right? You're like trying to represent something in a way that that you feel inside, or it could even just be an idea, you know. So it's yeah, it's the same thing, I suppose, in a certain way. Yeah.
Yeah. So for yours, it doesn't have to be literal showing. Like mathematical abstractions in a visual form. It could just be like this formula, what is it trying to represent? And then how can I now just translate that into
it could be more explicit, more like obvious rather than abstract.
I was thinking the opposite. I was thinking less explicit.
Oh, like more abstract, yeah.
More abstract,
yeah,
right?
Like I've been playing around with like, I haven't really uploaded much about it, but it's like loops and like sort of having that represent like problem solving and there's a few things I'm experimenting with and I'm hoping to be able to like incorporate into like almost like a unified style where it's like it represents all those things. But yeah, again, I'm experimenting at the
and it's all just like but it'd be interesting just for you just to look back at some of your work and seeing like how it has come through without you even realizing it, because it's something that you have an interest in that another artist might not, right? And why is their style depicted in this way, and why is mine?
And that's what I like to see when I look at other artists' work. You know? It's like, oh, like what is the sort of, because a lot of them they do explain what the motive and intent is behind the work, and it's interesting to see how they portray that, you know, and it's always different, right? Like everyone has their own sort of ways of doing it. Some are more explicit, some are more abstract, and it's that's why I like seeing that and seeing how different people do that.
Yeah. I think about like when you were saying about all the different facets and the different interests that you have and how it all feeds back in. I do like, and this could just be me sometimes just overthink. I overthink a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And about just transferable skills and thinking about you've got this underlying interest of problem solving in whichever way it comes, whether it just be through your art or mathematics, or even when you said jiu-jitsu, I'm like, well, obviously, right? Like that's physical expression of problem solving.
Yep.
And you know, you get tied up in this jam, and then it's just like this flow of like constantly just trying to offense, defense, remedy this thing.
Yep.
And you know, I just think about like maybe that is the underlying theme of what you do. Right, like it's about just trying to problem solve.
It could be. I'm trying to like, it'd be cool to find a way to, and I guess it's one of those pursuits that almost feel endless, right? Where you just it's constant, you know, until you die, you know, like you're just trying to keep sharpening that way of expressing it, you know. So like, I'm absolutely always trying to do that, and it's I think it's just like an endless journey. You just keep going.
Well, it's good because like we're not short of problems.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
can always create new ones.
Yeah. So it's like I definitely struggle with it. Like it's because it's one of those things where it's like you keep doing it, you never really get there, you know. And it's So it's but I guess it keeps you going, you know. Gives you something to keep aiming at.
It's a bit daunting, man. Like when I get to places where like this whole sense of achieving goals or like reaching milestones.
Yeah.
I don't know. I find that there could just be a point of like self-sabotage, but just achieving things like that brings on this sense of melancholy.
Yeah.
For me, rather than a sense of achievement, it feels like, now what?
Yeah. But then that's that whole Sisyphus idea again, where you're like, okay, you've got to roll that boulder back up that mountain, you know? Like,
and now it's a bigger boulder,
exactly,
bigger mountain.
Exactly, yeah. And it's like, like it's definitely a battle, like, you know, that you have to constantly be dealing with, because it's, I'm the same way, you know, because it's just like you did this thing and you're like, oh, okay, well, now I'm kind of depressed because I thought I'd feel better after this. And then now you're like, now it's the next thing, you know? So it's, I think part of it is being aware of that. But it's definitely it's not easy. Yeah.
Do you have like when you finish a piece and like just to remove yourself from it, because especially with your pieces, Well, especially with the ones where, like, when you use yourself as a centerpiece, and it's almost like a mirror of you or what's going on inside your head. Do you have this? Do you struggle with then moving on from that and then starting the next one?
I think I'm a bit of the opposite. I like once I finish something, I'm on to the next thing. Like I don't really think too much about it.
Yeah.
I'm always sort of like once I've done something, I want to just start the next thing. Like I don't really think too much about it. But I mean, there are some pieces where I do look back on and I'm like, oh, cool. Like that was, and I still get things out of where I'm like, oh, I did this thing right and this thing looked good, and then I try and incorporate that into the future works. But usually I'm very like on to the next thing. Yeah. Which
was there any pieces that kind of like that were just more monumental along the way? You were like, fuck, this was a bit of a game changer for me.
Yeah, I think there's definitely those milestone ones. Like especially when it's like a new thing. So for example, I think it was a couple years ago now, but I painted like a big skate bowl.
Yeah.
And like I'd never done that before, So that was a cool one where I was like, oh, I've never done this, and man, that was a struggle to do because like it's hard to tell without being there in person, but it's huge. Like the bowl is big, and to paint it, you have to like run up the wall, grab the railing, and paint. So it was a physical workout as well as like just the sheer size of it. So so things like that I find that are pivotal, where it's like either I haven't done that kind of work before, or maybe it's just the scale of it. Like like the Frankston one's like a big one for me too. It's first time painting in Frankston and being a part of that festival. I recently did a big job at Eastern Creek, it's in New South Wales, and that was a pretty big project with it's an artist agency called Mamam, and they're based in Melbourne actually as well. But they're definitely like milestones when it's a big project or something that's unique, that like I hadn't done before, like the bowl. So definitely. They're definitely like key moments, yeah.
And then just thinking about like how you map out the evolution, like where it all started from, and then just the meandering of it all, and like where does it take you next?
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the excitement, I guess, or the adventure is like not knowing. Like I don't know. Like I'm hoping to do more bigger projects and things like that. But it's you can just never really tell where things are going to go. I'm hoping it's going to be bigger projects. I'm actually going to Finland in June. I got an artist residency there for a month, which is a while. But
everything's happening in Finland right now, man.
Yeah, it's bizarre. And then so there's also a graffiti festival called Meeting of Styles, and it's like an international graffiti festival, and that's happening there. So I'm going to do that as well because it's just happened to be at the same time. So that's
is that one in Finland?
Finland, yeah. So I'm going to do the residency and then duck out, do that, come back, and that's something I'm excited for. That's coming up because it's a bit of time to just focus on my own work a bit, and I've got a few ideas as well that I want to work on, and I'm hoping it gives me that time to just focus and not have any other distractions, because I've never done anything like that before, where it's like an actual residency to just work on.
How long are you there?
A month. Yeah.
A month. That's quick. It's going to be intense.
Yeah, it will be, but I'm hoping to be able to produce a lot of work.
Did you reach out to them?
Yeah, so it was funny because I applied for it. I can't remember. Like I applied for it ages ago because I just saw it online, and then I completely forgot about it. And then got an email. Hey, like you're in, and I was like, oh shit, like yeah, because it's a big trip, And I haven't really spoken to anyone directly who's done that program, but it's worldwide, and what was the program called? So they do different style residencies there, and this one is called, I think it's called Way Beyond or something like that. And they want to, I think there's about 10, 11 people that they pick. It's in like the woods somewhere. Like it almost looks kind of culty. But like they want to, with this program, they want to get artists, scientists, philosophers, like a array of people together to just sort of, collaborate and it's going to be interesting, I think.
Dude, I think that's just the way to go. Like, as much as it would be awesome just working in a studio with a bunch of different artists, I think just having people from all walks of life as well. Vastly different disciplines to see how they inject
and I think that's why I applied for it, because I was like, this is weird, like, especially having that such a distance from like, it's not just artists, you know? So, and which is similar to your podcast, right? Like you explore different concepts, and it's like, yeah, I think that was why I initially applied, because I was like, this is going to be weird, you know? And yeah, so I'm excited for that, to see what, I don't know, see what happens, I guess.
I love that idea of like these separate or seemingly far removed entities coming together, because there's no escaping it in the work, right? Because how are you going to avoid having some sort of underlying philosophy in your work? Right? Like no matter what, even if you choose to create something random, you could just break that down, or like something that you think is seemingly nonsensical. Yeah, we can try to understand what that's all about. It's
and like definitely like the perspective too, right? Like having such a different perspective, and like things that you just wouldn't even thought about, you know? And like yeah, so that's going to be interesting to have that different perspective on things. Like, yeah, it's gonna be fascinating.
Because you only know what you know, and your work is just coming through you, and like your work is just like, yeah, this is what I do.
Yeah.
And then you have some idiot like me be like, dude, it just gives me anxiety.
but that's it's cool, because it's like you know, you don't hear that all the time, right? You don't get an outside perspective, and that's why it's good, because it makes you sort of reflect a bit more and be like, oh, that's interesting. Like I never thought of it like that. Yeah, so it's a good thing.
Yeah. And I like I said, man, like I'd say that with like it's a term of endearment, right? Because the things that get me feeling that way are the things that are challenging me, right? And it's challenging me because it's so far removed from how I operate. And I know that the way I operate is not necessarily the best practice for everyone. It's not even the best practice for me, right? Like I like to have too much control over things. I like things to be too organized, too meticulous.
Right.
And I struggle with just letting things float, like how your work does, right? Especially like, you know, those one-liners. I'm like, no way.
Yeah. It's so funny, because I'm like the exact opposite. I'm just like,
exactly, and that's kind of why I want to sit down and just start understanding how that goes. You know, like I want to know how to tap into that mindset. It's like, just do it, man.
Yeah. Well, like for me, it's the exact opposite, where I'm like, I need to be more organized. Like, why aren't I putting in more effort into trying to square things away? You know, because I'm like, it's the exact opposite, where I'm like, I want to be more organized and more in control of, you know, the outcome and things like that. But it's just so it's the exact opposite battle. You know, like And
I'm trying to see how to introduce that element into my work, because every time I try to do it, and I'm like, a lot of the testing I do behind the scenes off the finished pieces is just experiment, just trying different things, and I'm just telling myself, forcing experimentation into the workflow. And so the irony is that I have to organize myself to be random and chaotic in the work. But then as soon as like I'm there to complete the pieces and work on more finished type pieces, it's like having to think and overthink and then control and have everything measured. And I'm like, maybe that's just my thing, right?
Yeah, well, that's the tough part, is figuring out, like what parts of you do you want to play on, and what parts of you do you need to change, you know? So it's like, that's a tough one.
Yeah, like that Tim Ferriss quote was that the thing that you're avoiding the most is the thing that you should be leaning into the most, right? And I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay. So, all right. So now this is just going to be just putting me in this conundrum of what do I lean into? What do I pull back from? You know, all that and the different levers. So for me, and like what you were saying about this podcast, I'm just speaking with people that just do things differently. Because I find that just to be the most interesting. And maybe it's just creating more confusion. It's just confusing me. It's like there's so many ways it could potentially go. And then there's that choice paradox.
And it's like, it's also like knowing what you should do anyway, because like so earlier on, a few years ago, just because I was curious, and I still do this, I just don't post it, but like I just started exploring different styles, you know. Like I spent like a year, maybe 2 years, practicing realism, you know, and like I'm not good at it, but like just curious, like you know, and it was similar to like, what the thing I'm lacking, you know, like the thing I'm trying to avoid, maybe I should explore more. And then I you know, spent a lot of time just practicing these different styles, and then and then I don't know, I kind of just reverted, and I was just like, I don't know, I've always liked doing this drawing, like doodling and illustrations as a kid, and it's like what comes most natural to me. So I was like, I'll just do this. So it's definitely a tough decision.
So was yours, like your style, was it something that was intentional, Or was it just like you just kept on whittling it down until you got to a certain point, like, nah, this is what I do?
Yeah, so like growing up, even through high school, like it was similar, like to do what I do now. It was just like painting or on paper. It was just very illustrative, just heaps of characters, like
Yeah.
just elements and everything else. And then I guess I just felt like it wasn't good enough in a way. Like I was just like, oh, this isn't enough. And then I got to a point where I was like, well, this is what I like to do. Like this is what I do when I have nothing to do. When I'm bored, I just doodle. Like it's what brings me sort of like a sense of peace. Like so I'm like, oh well. And then I reached a point where I was like, you know what, I don't care. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do this thing that I like to do. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like this is what I like to do. And then just started working, I guess. And then obviously through the practice, I refined it and made it look a lot nicer. And and it's sort of been working so far. Yeah, so far so good.
Yeah, I just like the idea of like in the Matrix, right? Like how Neo would just upload Kung Fu in his brain and then he's got that. And it's we can almost do that, right? Like if you decide that, okay, I've got this particular style, I want to inject this into it.
Yeah.
And then just start channeling that and seeing how you can introduce that. But then you also have the choice of not. Right?
Yeah.
So you can just basically just dictate how you wanna mold or shape the direction of how your work goes.
And it's also if you actually enjoy the process of it too, like with realism, I got over that so quick. I was like, I hate this. Yeah. And again, everyone's different, some people love it, and for me, I was just like, man, I'm not having a good time doing this. Like, I'm not having a good time. And then that's when I was like, yeah, I'm not going to try and compete with artists who love doing realism, who are obviously way better at it because they love doing it. And this also goes back, so like when I was contemplating studying further, so I started my master's in mathematics, and that similar idea was the reason why I stopped, was because obviously it was a lot to do with work and doing a master's, but the people I was with in the rooms studying, they love maths. Like they love it, when on their off time, they're doing math. Like they're doing research, they're trying to solve these problems.
All about it.
And I'm like, oh, I'm not like that. Like I don't love it that much. Like and it might be something I explore when I'm older. Maybe if things slow down, I'll explore that avenue. But I was like, man, I'm not as dedicated as these guys. These guys love this. And then that's why I was like, you know what, I love painting the way these guys love the math, and that's why I was like, I'm just going to pursue that 100%,
That's the way, man. But then on the same frame, I could look at other people like, oh, dude, that artist is hardcore.
Yeah.
Like,
What do you mean? Like in what way?
Well, like, that they love art, like how those mathematicians love art. And it's like, but I don't know if I love it that much, but can I still do it, right? Because that whole philosophy is like, for you to either, okay, so not that art is a competition, but then, if you want to be the best at something, you're going to have to dedicate X amount of time and space for it. It's like, but, it's not like we're competing for a gold medal.
Yeah, it's not like a sport.
It's not a sport, right? Like you're going to outwork someone else.
Yeah.
But then I don't want it to be discouraging. I don't want to look at an artist and just not be able to dedicate or not have as much enthusiasm as them, because I think there are some people that just love to paint, love to play music. They just love it, right? Yeah. And I don't know if you're necessarily more or less worthy of that pursuit because you are much more passionate about it.
Yeah, like I think, like I agree. Like it definitely plays a part in it, but it's definitely a different animal compared to like sports, where it's like very clear cut. Like if you want to be the best, you have to put these hours in. You have to have these genetic makeup. And with art, I think it's slightly different because it's like you have to not necessarily be the best, but you have to be the best at what you do. At like what's your thing, rather than like trying to race someone in their own lane. You create your own lane and be like, I've created something new, and now I'm it might not be you're the only one doing that thing, but it's like you've created a niche, and now I'm just focusing on this, so it's not like a direct competition, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the whittling down, right? Like you keep on whittling it down until you are just uniquely you.
Yeah, and especially something like art, it's such a process of self-reflection where you have to really dig into your own soul, and just be like, who am I, and like, what do I like to do? And you start asking these questions that not a lot of people do, like, so you have to really just sit there with yourself and your thoughts and just be really uncomfortable.
That really ties back into the whole COVID,
the
COVID experience.
It forces you to do that.
Yeah, when you just have to hold that mirror up to you and you're like, oh God, that's
what
am I looking at?
I don't want to be alone with my thoughts.
Yeah,
but yeah,
someone's gonna go paint.
yeah, exactly. So it's different in that sense of like, whereas sport is like you have clear winners and losers and it's very competitive. There's strict rules. Yeah, art is more, I think, a solo sort of journey where you're trying to discover who you are and what you like to do and what you want to express and really honing that in. Yeah.
That's an endless pursuit, whereas sports is, I guess sports is in a way, that competitive landscape, it is an endless pursuit as well, because as soon as you've achieved gold, then it's like, fuck, what now?
Yeah, and a lot of them get depressed, right?
Yeah, it's like gold medal syndrome.
Yeah, and like, what do you do now?
Yeah, because that was their identity. They attached to that,
and it'd be stressful too. Like I can't and they have like the issue of time against them because usually it's like it's a physical sport, so you can't just have your whole life to chase this dream. You have a limited time.
For a lot of these sports, you're talking about like the first quarter of your life.
Yeah, I know, which is nuts. Yeah, which is nuts. And it's like, and especially if you don't make it, like, man, that'd be devastating. Like you dedicate your whole life to it.
Yeah. And then you were born in the same era as Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
and there's only so much you can do, right?
And then like forever, you're going to be second best. Like, I don't even know who came second to him.
Exactly. Yeah.
But, if not for that one guy.
Exactly, yeah. And some of it's just like unfair. Like it's genetic makeup, it's your environment.
Man, none of it's fair. And I think that's also another thing that like it's hard to get your head around.
Yeah. That's a tough one. It's like
we're always trying to level the playing field and trying to make things fair, but then it's like nothing's fair, man.
Yeah. And then you start dealing with the questions of like like free will and like are things just predestined, and it's and then that's like another little rabbit hole of like you're never gonna really get anywhere,
Nah, I just shared a post, a reel from the conversation I had on this podcast.
Yeah.
About how, as unique as you think you are, you're actually being influenced subconsciously without, like obviously without realizing it. So, there are some things that, there's these undercurrents that are happening in the cultural sphere that are influencing a large population of people. That you think, like, it could be the algorithm feeds you a particular thing and you resonate with that. You're like, oh, that's me. Yeah. It's speaking to me. It's like, but it's speaking to millions of other people as well. Yeah.
And it's like, as soon as you try and sit there and have an original thought, you quickly realize you're just a sum of like all these ideas that have been dumped into you. Yeah. And it's, and that, again, with art, it's like, it's the hardest thing to try and be original, like, and that's what I try to do, but it's hard. It's so hard to try and like, and obviously there's always going to be influences and stuff, but like, as soon as like I sat there and decided I'm going to try and create something new, you're like, holy shit, this is hard. Like it's very difficult.
And that's why I think it's so important to be able to live a life and to remove yourself from the art world as much as possible. Yeah. And this is the thing, that's the competition with with other artists, right? Like the ones that are like really into it. Yeah. You can, let's say if you're going to do your 14 hours in the studio and paint. But it's like, what are you actually painting?
Yeah.
What's going into that? Like, you got to go out there and you got to live a life. So the painting part of it should be almost secondary to everything else.
Yeah. And it's definitely like, I read, I think it was Camus, the philosopher I mentioned earlier, how he discusses like the whole artist's life is this balance of solitude and solidarity, where like, you need solitude to create your work, but you need to show solidarity and be out there in the world and live a life. Otherwise, you have nothing to do when you're by yourself. Like got nothing to make. So it's like, this balance of like trying to, be out there and get these experiences, interact with people, and then balancing that with the work when you're by yourself in solitude.
Yeah, it's like a musician, like a rap album. The first one's just awesome, right? Because you're talking about the struggles, and the next however many is just about like making it. And
and then it's like no one gets that. Yeah, and then you run out of things to talk about. Because you gotta be out there. You gotta live your life and have these experiences.
Yeah. So man, that's like you're changing things up. You're going over to Finland.
Yeah, and even doing this podcast, like I'm trying to like. Do more things that are like outside the scope of what I just paint, just by myself painting. I'm trying to like put myself out there a little bit more.
As the artist.
Yeah, that's it.
As the artist, Sam Absurd.
Yeah.
When's the trip to Finland?
June. I think I leave like late May. But yeah, it's
oh, dude, that's coming up soon.
Yeah,
that's gonna come real quick.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's a big trip. I don't think I've been away for that long before, so it's gonna be
wow.
Yeah,
awesome. Any other stopovers along on that trip?
I don't think so, not yet, at least. Yeah, but I think it's just Finland because I think with the residency, I'll probably just try and really spend that time making the most of it.
Just lock in.
Yeah, that's it. Because it feels like kind of a waste because Australia's so far away from everything, and like to be over there and not travel around a little bit feels like a little bit of a waste. But like I think the purpose of it is to just focus. Yeah, so that's the idea.
Man, looking forward to seeing the evolution that comes out of that.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, I'm excited.
Sam Absurd, thank you so much for jumping on the podcast, man.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
It was a fun conversation, dude.
Yeah, no, it was. It was good. Like I don't think I've dived this deeply, into
all facets.
Of
what makes you absurd.
Yeah. Like actually though, so it's been it's cool. It's cool to have that. Like it's I don't think I really sat there and really thought about these things. Like
well, there you go, man. Well, thanks for jumping on.
No, thank you. No, I appreciate it.